everybody. It is a beautiful but gloomy day in St. Louis today. I'm on my way from my apartment to Camille's house. I am going to be dragon sitting, taking care of her bearded dragon, Gomez. Very excited to see him today. And for today's episode of Unskripted, I wanted to talk about an interesting topic that has been on my mind a little bit, and that is the notion of celebrities, and if that concept will cease to exist in the future. So I think it was J. Cole who said that he doesn't believe celebrities will exist in 100 years. And I thought that was really interesting. And I'm finding now in our modern world where anybody can create anything and distribute it themselves and grow a following themselves, I'm finding that this idea of a celebrity is already kind of being warped. And I mean, I was on YouTube the other day, and I found a guy who has something like 5 million subscribers, and I had never heard of him. And odds are, if I asked just a random sample of people if they had heard of this guy, they'd all probably say no. You know, very few YouTubers are a household name in America. Even like the top 5 YouTubers, right? Like PewDiePie, for instance. I mean, if you asked most people my age, they'd probably know who he is. But he's the number one, or he was the number one YouTuber. Still is the number one single solo YouTuber, to my knowledge. And so, but other than that, I mean, there's very popular YouTubers with millions of subscribers that I haven't even heard of, and I'm a guy who's on YouTube often and creates content for YouTube, let alone having random people on the street know about you. Because my idea of a celebrity, and I was having this conversation with my parents recently, and the example I used was Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is what you'd consider a traditional celebrity, famous Hollywood movie star, who if you asked a random sample of 10 people on the street, I'd bet at least 7 of them would know who Brad Pitt is, maybe even all 10 of them. And that's fame, where just random people across America, even if they don't know your work, they know you. Because I mean, I haven't watched that many Brad Pitt movies, and I'm not like a Brad Pitt fan, but I definitely am someone who knows of his work. Okay, I'm going to give this gentleman out here some food. Sorry again for the interruption, folks. Hello, sir. I'm good. How are you?
Alright.
I got some food for you.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Here in Hampton Gardens, or I guess the neighborhood is called Southampton. There's a particular area here where there's usually a homeless person stationed, asking for some food or money, and so I have some bags of like granola bars and stuff that I usually give to them. So sorry for the interruption. My apologies. Or my apologize. My apologies. But anyways, this whole concept of a celebrity is changing in that it used to be, and I discussed this a little bit in my last episode of Unskripted, to be a legitimate artist or creator, you had to get picked up by a publisher or a studio or a record label. But now that's changed, and now you quite literally can be your own publisher, studio, and record label. And And so, like this guy on YouTube, right, who has 5 million subscribers, you know, he might never, ever, ever be a household name, but he is a celebrity in the eyes of those 5 million people. And that's a lot of people, you know? That's a huge chunk of America that has subscribed to this man. And that's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy. That you can build a following like that and not be a celebrity and not be like a movie star or a New York Times best-selling author or any of that. You can just build that following yourself, which is incredible. I mean, what better time would there be to exist and to live in for an aspiring creator than right now? I mean, it's really astounding to me that you can do that. So then the question becomes, eventually, the artistic industry, actors, writers, singers, etc., is going to get fragmented. I mean, already you have artists. You have artists that you might consider them in the mainstream, yet they're also not household names. One of my favorite rappers is named Russ. He is a, you know, platinum selling artist who you know, sells out stadiums across the country and has an enormous fan base. But he's also an independent artist. He's not on the radio often, and he didn't follow the traditional route. So he's not like he's not a household name either. So I mean, I think you would consider him a celebrity just because of the level of recognition he does have, but at the same time, he doesn't have the vibe of a celebrity. And a lot of these independent artists, they have these huge followings. They're extraordinarily successful. They're wealthy because of what they do, but they're not celebrities in the sense you would think, where they're movie stars, or you walk down the street and all the paparazzis are taking pictures of them. Like that concept, it just doesn't exist in the way it used to for up and coming or for modern day, you know, creators. And so then, as the artistic industry gets more fragmented going forward, and you have all these independent filmmakers on YouTube, and you have all these independent authors on Amazon, and you have all these independent musicians putting out their music on Spotify and stuff, then like where do the celebrities go? The people who make their careers in the traditional routes, will they just be kind of drowned out? Will they just kind of blend in with everybody else? I mean, because eventually, you know, it used to be, right, that the films showing in a movie theater were the films everyone was talking about. Up until 2020, that was the way it was. Up until 2020, there were like 8 films maybe in movie theaters at one time. And there were like 4 of them that were really being talked about. And so the actors and actresses and directors and people involved in those productions were getting all the talk and all the buzz. But now it's different. Because of the pandemic, we're experiencing the fact that if you got stuff on HBO Max, you got stuff on Netflix, you got stuff on Hulu, stuff on Amazon, and it's fragmented now. And you can watch films on YouTube. I recommend you watch mine. You can watch all kinds of stuff in all different places. And then there's, of course, cable TV. There's live TV, which is a whole different thing. And so it's like if a movie releases on HBO Max, it might get an awesome following on HBO Max, but it won't get, you know, the lead actor won't become a celebrity. They won't become a huge sensation, right? Because It's not showing in every movie theater across all of America and maybe all of the world. It's just showing on HBO Max. It's just showing for those who choose to watch it on that platform. And that's where things are getting tricky, because everyone gets to choose what art they consume. Everyone gets to say, okay, I choose to watch these YouTubers because I think they make good content and good films and good whatever. I choose to watch HBO Max and Netflix. I'm not paying for Amazon, I'm not paying for Hulu, I just want HBO Max and Netflix. Or maybe they just have Hulu and nothing else. Then the percentage of the population that only has Hulu will never know about the films being made on Netflix. They won't be following them, and they won't the people in those films won't become celebrities to those Americans. So it's just changing. The paradigm is changing a lot, and and so that's a little bit scary, because I don't think I will ever become, or I don't think I could become, a famous writer, right? I'm gonna turn off my blinker just so I can talk without being interrupted. There's no one behind me, so I'm good. But like nowadays, it's really difficult to become a famous writer based purely on your writing. I mean, I was reading, I think it was a Stephen King book I was reading, and it said, like, name 5 famous modern authors, and odds are you can't. You know, he said that most people will say J.K. Rowling, they'll say George R.R. Martin, they'll say the lady who wrote Hunger Games, and then they'll start drawing a blank, and then start going back to old school authors, you know, Mark Twain, you know, Walt Whitman, Herman Melville, then it becomes, wait, hold on. Writers only really became famous from their writing alone back when books were just as big as movies, and you know, whatever was being published was being read by everyone. But nowadays, I mean, there's just so many. There's I would guess hundreds of thousands of books on Amazon to choose from. You know, 60% of which aren't even published authors. They're self-published authors like myself who just create their own stuff and put it out there. And so, I mean, I think as a society, we might have reached a point where to become famous just by purely being a novelist or purely being a writer and nothing else, I don't know if that's even possible anymore, because you almost need your work to get adapted into film or television, because those are in the mainstream nowadays. I mean, my generation, you know, at high school, when I was, you know, back at CHS, I mean, there's only a handful of kids who actively read books, which is sad. I mean, I wish more people did, but it's just the truth. I mean, so it's all just changing, and the point that I'm getting at here is that it's scary in that you can't become a famous household name purely really through books, through filmmaking. You know, it's a lot harder nowadays to become a famous artist, a celebrity artist. But that begs the question, is that what you want? Do you want to be a celebrity artist? Or do you just want to have a core following and make a living doing what you love? And in my opinion, I would rather have a strong, closely knit, dedicated group of people who really enjoy my art than be a household name and be stalked by paparazzis. To me, it's actually really cool. It's really, really cool that you can have, you know, I mean, right now I have 227 subscribers. That's cool to me. 227 human beings watch and enjoy the stuff I put out. That's cool. If that became 2,000, that would blow my mind. If that became even more, you know, 200,000, 2 million, then, I mean, I cannot even put myself in the headspace of how cool that would feel. Not because of fame, not because I would feel like a celebrity and all this and that, but because I would have an audience, a group of people, a large group of people that I'm reaching with my work. And that's something I've always said, is that I don't want fame, I want an audience. Because that's a big difference. You know, I don't want or need fame in the traditional sense. I don't need to be a celebrity, but I would love to have a large group of people who are impacted by my work, because right now I'm producing the art for me, and I'm producing the art for those 200 or so people who follow me on YouTube, and the 300 or so people who follow me on Vero. And I don't have Instagram anymore, but there were a couple hundred there. But like, the point is, right now I'm dealing in hundreds, and if I could even escalate that or elevate, or if I could grow that to even more people and touch even more lives with what I do, then that would be, I mean, that's the goal. That's the dream. That's all I want to do is just grow my following. And so that's why I think that today, in today's world, that it is the best time to do that, because the competition, there's a lot of people, but it's better than it used to be. Because it used to be, you had to be a New York Times bestseller, you had to play on the radio, or you had to have your film show in theaters, otherwise you were a nobody. And now, it's just not the case anymore. Now, there's a dude on YouTube with 5 million subscribers, nobody even knows his name. Except for those 5 million people, right? Which is still a lot of people, of course, that's a ton of people, but I could get thousands of subscribers, thousands of people following my work, and that would be the greatest feeling, but I wouldn't even be a celebrity. This baffles me. I don't know if this baffles anybody else. I don't know if this is mind-blowing to anybody else, but it's mind-blowing to me. And, I mean, I just can't wait to see what the next few years hold, because my following is growing. It's growing slowly and steadily. I'm trying to make a career out of doing what I love. I'm trying to touch more people, touch more lives with the art that I make. And I just know that when I have even more people that I'm impacting, the pressure will be on even more to make meaningful art, and to not waste any time, and to just make stuff that matters, make art that matters. And I'm trying to do that now, but man, if I had an audience that big, then I would just put even more energy into making sure that everything I put out impacts every person positively in some fashion. So yeah. Well, I'm here at my girlfriend's house, Camille's house. Got to take care of the bearded dragon. It has been a pleasure talking to you all on this fine morning. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more Unskripted, more everything else, keeping it keeling. Don't worry, adventure logs, you name it, we got it all here. Don't forget to subscribe, follow along, and let me know in the comments or wherever. Hit me up on email, whatever you want to do. Let me know your thoughts on, do you think that celebrities are going to become an outdated concept? And what are your thoughts on the matter? It's a really interesting topic to me. So, yep. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.